Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh
Oh yeah,
yeah.
we're
Welcome back,
welcome
my
back.
LOS to LAS
Whoop whoop
baddies,
whoop
to
whoop.
my ladies, to my gentlemen,
Mm-hmm.
and all within that group. You're all welcome back.
You're welcome.
Thank you all for liking, following. I hope you guys saw our
Subscribing.
jackpot hotline that we just released. That
Yes.
is the way that we get to hear from you, hear your stories, hear your dilemmas. Please call us and share your stories.
Yes. We'll have the number on the screen for you,
Mm-hmm.
so you can
And
go ahead and
that's
do
how you
that.
reach us. Anything, but you can also reach us through all of our other platforms as well. But if you want to kind of share a
Mm-hmm.
more discreet story, that's the best way to do it. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Today, we're
Mm-hmm.
actually going to be talking about a topic that's honestly very important this day, because I feel like it's starting to come up a lot
Oh
more, especially like growing
yes.
up and being like in the
Yes,
workforce.
yes,
We're
yes.
beginning to experience a thing that we call
Oh,
microaggressions.
not even workforce. I would say it's also very prevalent in like societal
Side
relationships and
relationships.
friendships and people you just meet
Mm-hmm.
along the way. You know, when you meet somebody or you're in a group of people and somebody says something that just feels a little bit off,
It's like,
but everybody's laughing. It's like,
hmm.
what's the joke about me?
Me? Yeah, I was like, was that really a
Oh,
joke?
that's not a joke.
You
Now it's like
know?
the T is clocking,
You
the
know?
connection, the neurons are just
Exactly.
sparking and firing in your brain,
Exactly.
and then it would just make sense to you that, man, you're using me as a joke.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's just that entirely is the microaggressions that I believe Nigerians and Africans in the United States have to experience.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
And I feel like honestly it can be broken down in like so many different ways.
yes.
Because the microaggressions where it's like, okay, microaggressions as Africans, what we're getting
Mm-hmm.
from people. There's microaggressions as black people,
Oh,
what you're getting from other races. There's microaggressions as a woman, which you're getting from men. There's microaggressions as a black woman,
mm-hmm.
what you're getting from even black men. There's even microaggressions as an African woman. So it's just like there's so many layers and levels of microaggression that you can get into. That's just like people just need to stop being funny sometimes.
No, like I know it's aimed towards. I don't know actually. I don't know what your thought was because I'm trying to make an excuse for
Yeah,
you.
I can't even
But is
justify your
is it
excuse.
harmless? Because now I'm thinking about it. It's not. And you know one that I recently experienced that now I'm thinking about it because we just said, is
Mm,
it harmless?
mm,
I had an issue with my car recently, and the
okay.
person that came to help me was like helping me out. It was kind of sweet, but not really sweet. I couldn't really tell the vibe. And at the end, he was like, you got to be really careful about these things. Da. You're just a girl, right? You calling me dumb?
It's just like a moment of silence where you just have to like kind of be like, oh.
I had to laugh it off, like, no, it's just, these things happen. And they do happen. They can happen to a man, too.
But that's the annoying part is like the survival tactic of it
Uh huh.
is you have to laugh it off.
Oh, of course.
And it's like it's not even funny though. But I have to just be like move on.
For the sake of
For the
being
sake of just being like, because you don't want to come off as aggressive or like, oh, this
before you're
black
labeled. And
woman.
it doesn't help
And
you when you're
it
black,
doesn't help you when you're
African.
black, African at all. Because now it's like, oh, so she's just aggressive. Oh, she's just mad. Oh, she just gets angry. It's like, no, it wasn't funny. I don't
It
have to
wasn't
laugh at
funny.
it.
Maybe it was a little bit, but I also know what you trying to say behind that
Comment,
comment.
yeah.
Yeah, and now it's gonna hit me the wrong way. But
Mm-hmm.
particularly, outside of just the women's space, even the being Nigerian, and I think I touched on this before in the previous episode, where you meet somebody and the first thing they'll talk about is like, "Oh, you're so articulate."
Bumbleclap, man. I just can't, because it's just like, I mean, because my thought process is kind of like, why did you assume I wasn't?
Is there something
Like,
about
was it
me, maybe the
something?
color
What
of my
was it? Was it?
skin,
Was it
that really
this?
tells you that I wouldn't know how to
I
speak
wouldn't know how to speak
English?
English.
Yeah.
And also I'm just like, if you really want to use like common sense around it, when I tell people, oh, you know what, I'm Nigerian, I grew up in
Uh-huh.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
If you want to use your common sense about it and wondering why, oh, how come you speak English so well? Do you not know history? Nigeria is literally colonized by the British. A bunch of the education is by the British. So if I'm speaking to you, the way I am speaking to you, now you look dumb to me because then now you don't know history. You don't know anything about
Mm.
past colonizations or wars or whatever. And now you're telling me I'm articulate. You're dumb.
You know what I've come to realize? I think people are not cognizant of anything that's going on around them except their country of origin. Like,
100%.
especially with the things that are going on in the world right now, some people, we're living in a fantasy and we don't seem to want to know about people from other places. And it's
Mm-hmm.
crazy because the United States is a very heavily populated immigrant country. And you kind of have to know the people around you. America doesn't belong to anybody, let's be
Mm-hmm.
honest. Like, the people that claim that they own this land really do not own this place. It belongs to other people, but yet we don't seem to want to learn outside of
What's going
our
on? You know who I blame?
who.
I blame Marvel. I blame the Avengers
Bro,
because
what? How did we
because
get to the Avengers?
I feel like they no hold on, hear me out. I feel
Okay.
like they just recently started to not recently, but they just started to kind of like expand their horizons
Oh,
to
I
like
think I know what you
places outside of the
mean.
US. Because you're
Yes.
like, oh my god, a war is going on, the whole world is in shambles. But you're just in California, bro. Spider-Man, you're just in New York. Like I was like, the
Because
world is
all the
not
craziest shit be happening in New York.
I'm like, the world is not in shambles. New York is in shambles right now. Is what is happening in Marvel.
Yeah,
But it
yeah.
just makes things so centered around like if it's not happening within, because there's some people that like if something's not happening within California, California is their own country even. Like they don't even leave Cali. So it's like if something's not happening within LA, it doesn't even matter to them. It could be like, oh, this da, 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 in New York. You're like, well, New York.
You
What?
know, the fact that you said that about Marvel, I love Marvel. But,
Marvel, everything.
no diss to them or anything. They're really struggling these days. But
No, but they're coming back.
I
The
know with the
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
trailer.
trailer, that thing was. I watched it like 5 times. It was
Yes.
so good.
Oh,
But I think what I'm going towards with the whole Marvel thing is even when they started to introduce Africa and the
yeah.
countries there, the way they did it really pisses me off, and the way they still do it.
Mhm.
Like, I love how Wakanda was very inclusive. There's people from different
Mhm.
places, but the accents became an issue, and then it also made kids think that Wakanda, maybe they should have picked like a more realistic country instead of a fictional one, something. Because I really, at that time in
Mhm.
high school, I really had people asking me, is Wakanda a
Are
real
you
place?
Wakanda?
Or they'll speak to me in like a Wakandan accent, or if they see me, they do the little,
Wakanda
the
forever.
little, the little thing, and I'm supposed to do it with you. Like, that is, we do know it's fictional.
But it's like, and I honestly, I think I appreciated them using a fictional place, because then I wanted it to be like good. Let it be fictional. Yes, you're bringing in bits and pieces from
Mm.
Africa, but let it be fictional so that way I don't want anyone to come back and being like, oh, but from this movie it says that the people of this do this, and then now it's a stereotype that's ran through the rest of our lives because of one thing in the movie. But Wakanda is like, there's no Wakanda, there's no such place. It's made up. So whatever you get from there, leave it in Wakanda.
But it's I know it's made up, but people really do believe that what happened or what they saw in Wakanda was actually things that happened in Africa, and they categorize it to a specific country. I
They
think this
do.
was something that I
Mm-hmm.
remember from back then when
Black
Black
Panther.
Panther first came out, and
Shout out Boseman. You know.
while it was like great and it was really impactful to seeing the African space and just learning. I think that's probably where the whole Afrobeats came from, and people were really venturing
Mm-hmm.
into African artists. But that also meant that people, that's all people knew about Africa, and they didn't want to
Exactly. True.
expand their horizon past that, and they didn't
Mm-hmm.
want to know more. So the information that they have from Marvel, thankfully, was most of what they knew from for Africans. So when you're speaking to them and you sound so articulate, and they don't hear a
Yeah.
Wakandan accent.
Yeah, because they're waiting for you to
To
talk like this.
Nina,
Because
oh,
how did they even say it? And what was the line that he said?
I never freeze.
I
That was,
never freeze.
I never freeze. How do I know
I
that's
don't
what you're
even
thinking?
know. I don't even know who speaks like that for real. I don't even know
I
what country.
never
I never
freeze.
freeze.
You know also what I hate? No, not hate.
Mm-hmm.
Hate is such a strong word. But when people come on like something like reality TV or YouTube or something, and when it's time to, they do that African accent, and it's that same
It's the
what is the
same
same
Wakandan
Wakandan
one.
accent,
And
and
I'm
they're
like,
just
it's
like,
not it though. The person who really gave a really good accent was Mbaku. I forget his real name. He's such a great actor.
was he
Um
like the leader of the other people?
yeah,
Oh
the one that
yeah,
fought.
wasn't he
He
Nigerian?
think he's Nigerian, but
Of course
he
now.
gave a great accent.
Never
I was
carry
like, okay, good. I was
last.
like, this is better. This is much
Uh
better. So I liked his. But you know who has a really good accent? That's funny.
Who?
Lizzo.
I've never heard
There's a
Lizzo's Nigerian
video. I
accent.
should if you could post it on here, but there's a video
Uh huh.
of her. I'm gonna
No, because I'm gonna
interview.
try to. We will send each other the video or something. We'll add
Yes,
it.
I'll find it. Like she tried to someone asked her was Afrobeat whatever song, and she sang a fully Igbo song. It's a fully Igbo song. And when she sang it, I said, wait, where are you from? And she sang it with the accent and everything. It was so funny. I was like, what? I think it was with Zile. Is it Zile? What's her name? The girl that's funny. I don't remember if that was her, but it was so funny. I have to find the video. Don't worry about it. I was
Okay.
just funny
You know
video.
the fact that I say that I recently watched. I don't know. I've been on YouTube more these days. I don't know what it. Maybe YouTube is
Maybe
making a
come
comeback.
back. I feel
Because
like
yeah, I was watching KSI's video and it was like guess the Nigerian, right?
I've seen those.
And there was
Yeah.
this girl from Ireland. She's Ireland and Scottish, and you can just tell she did her research about
I saw that
Nigeria,
clip. I saw
and
that
she
clip.
was so
She was so
good
good.
at
I
it.
saw
No,
that
she
clip.
convinced me that she was Nigerian past all of them, even though I can clearly see that girl,
But I
you're
was,
shitting me.
yeah.
But it was so
No,
clear.
there was
Which
sorry.
one?
There was one of them from that. I think it's from the same episode, and they were trying to figure out hers. And she said that she was Yoruba. They asked her, "Where are you from?"
Victoria
Nigeria. She said,
Island.
Victoria.
I know. I was like, girl, nobody's from. I mean, nobody's really from Victoria.
Like,
Victoria
blah, blah,
Island is a
blah.
city. It was probably like made afterwards. Like,
Words or
girl.
something. Yeah, I was like, please be for real.
And they asked her to dance or like do something, and she was in obele, obele. She was put her Jamaican obele.
That was so
Obele.
funny.
Yeah, that was
please.
funny.
Oh my god.
Outside of the whole like the English aspect and them just expecting us to sound a certain way, I think a good one to bring up is also the geography thing that they have. They're stuck to thinking that while Africa is so vast, if you tell them to say if they think you're African, the second that they say that, they list only certain places. They don't know the rest,
Yeah,
and
100%.
they stick to that. It's almost like they're geographically bound to certain places. And obviously, they say Nigeria, so why I think, oh, okay, Nigeria, that's the first guess.
First guess, yeah.
But imagine you're from Zimbabwe or you're from Uganda.
The thing to think about too is like people were already geographically bound to thinking Africa was a country. Initially, they were asking people on the streets, like, those street people.
Oh, yes, so that.
Like,
Yeah.
Countries in the land, they're like, oh, Africa. They're like, Africa's not a country. Are you okay? So it's like now that the whole rise of Afrobeats and the rise of Africans are coming to the U.S., people are now a little more like exposed to like, okay, Ghana, Nigeria, jollof beef. So now they know Ghana, they know Nigeria, they know like South Africa because I'm a piano came up too. They know Ethiopia, maybe Ethiopia, because Ethiopia's making a real good rise in LA. Like they're opening like clubs and lounges. Like they're having a good rise.
Yeah, they're coming up.
So it's like people would know those. Maybe Kenya, they would know. But other than that, like
nowhere else.
They're
They're not gonna say Sierra Leone.
not gonna say Sierra
Ivory
Leone,
Coast.
Chad.
Like no one's gonna list
like,
that.
like
It's almost
no
like the entire 54. Right, there's about
54,
54 countries in Africa has been condensed into the backyard of somebody's house. And they already know that 54 is maybe about 4 that they know.
Exactly.
And for someone, it's just like, imagine you meet people constantly and they're always saying, oh, maybe, are you Nigerian or they're this or you that? And it's like, well, I'm not, but try to see. And
exactly.
Okay, come on, guys.
It's really Cameroonians. Cameroonians are very mixed with Nigerians.
Oh.
Cameroonians, like, why are you Nigerians? Like, I'm literally from Cameroon.
You know, I understand why you people are not upset at Nigerians, because imagine constantly being told you're Nigerian.
Like,
Later I go vex.
So how?
Imagine Ghanaians, like every time they always be mixed up with Nigerians.
It's like,
how are you going to feel? Like the second I hear Nigeria, I'm like, please, take that country out of my mind. So I can kind of understand the low, It's okay.
No, that's fair.
It's fine.
That's fair. Please.
Yeah.
I think something else to think about too with microaggressions that I was thinking about is I guess like I don't know if it's a micro. It is a micro. I don't know if it's a microaggression. At this point, to me, it feels macro, to be honest. But I guess like more so towards African women, where people feel like African women are more caring, they're more on the caretaker side.
Wouldn't that be more like stereotypical?
More stereotypical.
Okay.
Like, people would make like just like comments, random comments about um I never want to use work as example, but just
I
like
mean, if you need to, do
but let's just say
you?
like you be in a space, right, and then they're looking for someone to do something, and then let's say something that's like domestic wise, right? I
Mm.
feel like in that space, people just tend to just be like, oh, well, somebody can do it because somebody can just like
Because
clean da da da,
yeah, you
because like
show that
oh,
side
because you
more.
clean, you wash dishes, you cook food, and it's like, why am I the one doing it though?
Mm.
There's like a little twitch of something like that, if
Yeah,
that makes sense. So I feel like that it's just this not like it's not like it's a micro. I don't know if it's a microaggression, but it's more like a stereotype.
as a stereotype that
And
can also
then
shift into the
it's just
microaggression
micro, yeah.
world.
But yeah, that's something
And
to
even
think
when you
about
feel
too.
offended by something that someone says from a different ethnic background, you try to downplay it that it's not that serious because what you don't want is to get the Nigerians are aggressive comment, especially like
Too much
people like also
comments.
one thing I don't like people saying recently that I've heard is that Nigerian women are aggressive and we're
And
angry too
angry.
much or I don't want to marry a Nigerian
You're
woman because they're just too
just too
much.
much.
They're just too much. I'm sorry, who birthed you?
Like, who's your mother?
Who ha did you come out of?
Who are? Who are? Who are?
Who ha, you
Who
know?
are? Did you come out of?
How did you come out? Like
And even
who raised
then, it
you?
just feels like it just feels very. It's also like I say, like that thing, like it's very stereotypical
Yeah.
in that sense of just like you can't express yourself in a certain way when you hear these microaggressions because you're gonna be labeled some kind of way. And the thing is, depending on what situation or what crowd you're in, the labeling could be very disastrous for you. Some labeling could just be like, "Yeah, I'm angry. Take me as angry. Like, get out of my face. Like, if that would make you get out of my face, then get some anger and I'm aggressive. Get out. But there's some spaces you be in, like in a workspace or like sometimes it might even be where you're trying to like foster relationships with people and then like you're probably in like a social space, right? Like a
Mm,
day event,
yeah.
and then some random rando is pissing you off,
I don't.
and if you express yourself the way you want to express yourself, now everyone's gonna look at you and be like, "Who's this one? What's that? What's who's meant?"
Yeah.
And then now you can't even be at peace in this space because no one wants to talk to you because they're all thinking you have some meant going on. But it's like,
Yes.
no, this person just pissed me off.
Don't get me wrong, I did colo, but really in that moment
Close.
I'm not. And the fact that I absolutely hate when it also comes from Nigerian men, our own people,
It's
the one
just
people that we
like
should even have behind us,
behind
backing us.
exactly.
And it's just to think that when it comes to labeling us and slightly like throwing a microaggression towards your own people, we are at the front of the line to do that.
Yep.
We are the first people to say, well, I'm not going to be with the Nigerian woman because they're just too
So,
loud, they're too aggressive, they're too
mm-hmm.
bossy. Other women are like this. Like, this is not specific
Specific
to
to
Nigerian
Nigerian women.
women. People can be aggressive
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what ethnic background that you're from, whether you're Nigerian or from any other place. But
Yeah.
the fact that we in
We
Nigerian we
get
have to
that
take
that
that,
messaging is just like no. And
it's
I think the thing too
irritating.
is like there's this thing where I feel like people for some reason feel like well women in general, but Nigerian women, African women are meant to be more quiet and more like solemn and not talk too much or not talk in places or let the men do what they need to do or lead what they need to lead. But what I noticed is actually growing up and seeing how the Nigerian mothers were actually moving, what I
Mm,
realized is a lot of Nigerian mothers are actually taking lead of a bunch of things in their lives, in their families. They're really honestly the bosses of the families. Like it might have been like, oh, you're seeing them as this, but this is who they really are. But
yeah.
I think a bunch of the men who are growing up now saw their mothers as quiet without actually seeing the background of what's going on. The girls are seeing the background of what's happening. And because of that, they're like, well, we take lead. I see my mom do this. And then now you bring that energy
Mm,
to the men, and the guys are like, who's this one? Why are you feeling like, men should be, men are the ones who, and I'm like, telling that like, do you know what your mother does? Like, do you even know what your mom does, like, in your family? So I think it's interesting that like it's not being expressed to them, and now we have to be the ones showing it. And because we're showing it, but now we're aggressive. Now we want to be men. We want to be this, and it's like no.
mhm.
From time and beyond, truly, I feel like the women have been doing these
The women
things.
have been put in the house together.
Yeah, it's
Like
just that they're doing it
they
quietly.
might do it Oh, I love that. They do it quietly, but then when it's in the open and it's in front of the kids, they almost like put the men in the front. So you think that your dad is in
Is
charge.
mm-hmm,
You know, listen, or they tell you listen to your dad, but really, who is running
mm-hmm,
this household?
mm-hmm.
Who's doing this? Who's doing that? A lot of times it's the mom. Like the mothers are so strong and really devoted to this sense of family that has been
Mm-hmm.
instilled in them since birth. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
they're really like what's the one there, like your mind is like tunnel vision to that
Well,
particular goal. What's
focused.
focused? I can't really think of the
Can't
exact
think of the word.
word,
Yeah.
but it's almost like that's what they're geared towards,
Mm-hmm.
and they look forward to that. Everybody looks forward to having kids and then submitting to your husband and trying to follow that. But some men, they just
The cool just
they
the
and you have to like act like okay, your dad is still in charge, but really you know that you're the one who's doing
and
the
that's
work.
another thing too when it comes to microaggression
Uh-huh.
that it's not funny or it's like I feel like also it happens a lot in workplaces too where as a woman you would say something or you would make a contribution to work and then because you're a girl, especially as a young girl too, like you're a young girl. First of all, you're young, and then you're a girl, and you say something, so they're thinking, "Oh, she probably just said some BS,"
Mm-hmm.
and then the male person goes ahead and says the exact same thing that you just said, and
Oh
everyone's like,
yes.
"Hmm,"
Oh
and you're sitting there
yes.
like, "Isn't
Does
that
it
what
sound
I
better from
just
him?
said?" You
Hmm.
know, like, how does it sound better when he says it? But then I'm thinking in my head, isn't this what I just said? And I think I'm going crazy. Like maybe I didn't
You're not going
articulate myself
crazy.
well enough. Maybe I didn't say it well enough. But then I mean, growing up, I'm like, no, no, I said it exactly how it needed to be said. If anything, they
Exactly
were
how
even
it
more
needed to
confusing
say.
in what they said right now. All
Mm-hmm.
of a sudden, it's all like, hmm. And I'm like, hmm.
Yeah. And honestly, this is not even just specific to Nigerian women. I think that in general, if you feel like a
Mm-hmm.
microaggression has been said or done towards you, how would you respond to that? Because you don't want to do like a kind of like a lash out and then people think you're sensitive. You can be a
Mm-hmm.
sensitive gangster, but still
Shout out to Maya.
it's just like how would you as a Nigerian woman, knowing fully well that we already have a stereotypical labeling going on for us, how do you respond to it? Like I know a lot of time we just tend to laugh it off and take it as humor, but we think about it when we go home and then we're like, oh my gosh, how would I have responded to
Honestly.
that situation?
And I think that's the part of, I think that's what the issue is. It's the laughing it off. So, what I'm trying to train myself in doing in all situations is when I do see it happen, I try to catch it there and then, and I don't laugh. I will literally look at you and sit there. We can both sit in this silence and
Oh, it's so awkward.
awkwardness
It's like
that you have created. Let's sit in it because now that you've seen, because I'm not going to give you a reaction. I'm not going to be like, what the heck? Why would you say that? I'm not at all because you're not gonna sit here and label me as something, you know. So I'm not gonna
no.
give you the satisfaction of a reaction. Even all I'm gonna do is when you sit there, when you say the joke and then you start laughing, I'm gonna sit there and look at you. And then when you're done laughing, we're
You're
just
the
gonna
only
look
one
at each other. You're the
laughing.
only one laughing. And when you're done, you're gonna be quiet. You're gonna look at me, and we're gonna sit in this awkwardness that you have created, the space that you have made. And then when we're done, we'll move on. But I want you to go to bed and remember, dang, what the heck did I say?
Hmm.
That's exactly. I
Yeah, I
think
need you
how it
to
should
think
be
about
dealt
that
with.
moment and how I didn't take it as a joke,
Mm-hmm.
because oftentimes we tend to pass up on opportunities to really call people out on
Exactly. I
some
agree.
BS or something that they have said, and they go on thinking it's okay to speak to people like that, or it's okay to make a joke about where somebody's from or how their accent is or something like that, and it's like, oh, it was just a joke,
Yeah.
but you don't even know how your words really
Mm-hmm.
affect people. And people just need to be aware. Like we need to just
Yeah.
start calling people out. Like who cares if we're being called sensitive?
Well, let me be sensitive.
Establish your
Sensitive is what I
boundaries.
need. Yes, and you know, because the thing microaggressions is like he says, it's micro. It's like a tiny little cut. But then when you keep cutting and cutting and cutting, and now you have a big wound, and now that microaggression has become a whole scar on somebody. And the
Mm-hmm.
way I think about well, the way I've been thinking about things, honestly, is that I want to have kids when I grow up, you know. And
Mm.
the things that I experience, there's some things I experience, and I'm like, I hope I would when I have a kid, they would never get to even be in this situation to experience such a thing.
Oh, that's
You know? So
beautiful.
in my head I'm like, if I laugh this off and move on, this person is gonna take this to their kids and their kids are gonna take it to mine in the future. And now my child has to deal with this BS you just made me deal with. So I'm like, no, we're gonna sit here and be awkward because you need to learn that you can't do that. You can't live like that. So that way, when you have your own kid, you teach them the right thing. So when they interact with my kids in the future, everyone's happy, and we don't have to go through another cycle of
Mm-hmm.
that BS again. That's how I feel about it
We never have
personally.
to go through a situation where we have to call the parents in, and now we're having a whole meeting as to why your child said this towards my daughter and all
Mm-hmm.
this conversation. We just need to be raise our kids in ways that they're not um, doing microaggressions, and they are aware, they're cognizant of the things
Mm-hmm.
that they do say towards people and
Mm-hmm.
how that can affect them, and also being more knowledgeable about the people around you, especially here in the United States. Like, you're not the only one living in this country right now. It's pretty open. You meet a lot of diverse groups of people, and you should be able to interact with everybody else.
Yeah.
No excuse for a bad behavior.
Especially talking about LAX. LA is a huge melting pot of different kinds of people,
Ugh.
and the thing is, sometimes microaggressions can happen in ways that I mean, I mean, like everybody can be microaggressive.
Even I'm sure I have been at
That's
some
exactly. I'm
point,
sure I
like
have been. I'm sure I've
maybe
said
as a joke,
something
but if somebody does tell me in that moment, like, oh, I
like
well,
what?
well,
I'll be. Well, I'm sorry. Like I didn't even. I'm sorry.
it would
It's
probably
just
eat me
like,
up on the
bro, I
inside.
would not go to. I would
I
go
would
to
go to
sleep
sleep and I
like,
was like,
what
oh
the heck, bro?
shoot,
Like
what did I
you don't think. You
say?
don't think.
Oh,
Exactly. So I think also that's the other part too is like understanding that it could come from anybody and it could come from you, come from me, from you. So it's kind of like as long as you're able to take that correction or
mm,
at least just reflect on like, okay, these are the things I said today. How could this have affected somebody? How could this have been not nice?
very
And
true.
like it's not about things being sensitive or not being sensitive.
Yes,
It's just genuinely about being a respectful, nice person. Like there's so many jokes in the world to make that is not microaggressive. Why do you have to make them like, oh, I like dark humor? No, you're just
it's not dark humor
a bad
anymore.
person.
No, no, because here's the thing: if I continue allowing this microaggression to continue, now each time I'm with you, it's almost like I'm trying to survive the conversation.
Yes.
I'm always trying to survive this interaction I'm having
Mm-hmm.
with you. It's like I just want this to be
I want it to be
over.
over. Like this is exhausting.
Like when
It's
I see you
like,
from afar, I'm like looking for
oh,
the other
like how do I
direction to
go? Because I don't
go.
even want to be here.
Like I
I don't
don't.
want to
People don't
have
want
to
to be
fake
around
laugh.
you,
And
and
I feel like people don't know how to like interpret like fake things. Because if I hear like if I'm talking to you and you know me, like me as a person, I like to laugh and I laugh like a goat. So if I'm around you and I'm doing, you should know that. Oh no, she's like you're effing up. Like get out. So I'm like, no, I don't know. People can interpret certain laughs, and it's just interesting in that way too. But yeah,
yeah, maybe they might not know you well enough. But I mean, that's still not an excuse for things.
microaggression.
You can always be socially aware of certain things. Like a that's not a real laugh. I
Yeah,
feel
it's
like if
like move
anybody does
on.
a for me,
It's like
it's
okay,
like
I'm moving on from
okay,
the
yeah, like.
conversation.
But some people they will dwell on that part that because they think you did a and then they
And they'll start
continue,
increasing it, and
continue.
it's
It's
just
like
like
okay, now pipe down,
okay,
shorty.
okay.
Like I said, pipe down, shorty.
Shorty, okay.
What am I, a man?
Yes, it's shorty. What?
You never know.
Never
I just kidding.
bumbleclad. Anyways, but yeah, I think that's like the topic of like microaggressions. I think the thing is just don't let people get away with it.
I
Let them sit in
agree.
silence, sit in their awkwardness. If you feel like you don't want to confront it and call it out, because the best option really is call it out, say it as it is. But if you feel like you don't want to confront it, at least don't laugh. Sit in the silence, let them be awkward in what they've created, and then go from there and then create a conversation from there. Don't accept microaggression is what I would say.
I agree. I have a quick example where I feel like maybe that could have been microaggressive. I was talking to somebody um, with a Scottish heritage,
Mm.
and I had called their traditional attire a skirt, but it's not
Mm.
a skirt. And I was like, yeah, when you guys wear your skirt.
Discuss. Ah, yeah,
And
yeah. I mean the
he just
kilt.
paused and looked at me. And I'm just like, is it not a skirt? What is it called? I'm so sorry. And he's like, it's a kilt. I'm like, I am so sorry.
Sorry.
The kilt.
Kilt.
And from then on, like, I thought about it the whole night. I couldn't sleep about how I said skirt. I was like,
Skirt.
darn it,
Darn it,
man.
man.
Why did I say
Darn.
skirt? But it's not a skirt, it's a
The
kilt.
kilt.
And so
Yeah.
like now I'm like more like cognizant of these things. So you see
Mm-hmm.
how it's okay to call it out without
Yeah,
being sensitive. And it's a
exactly.
great opportunity to educate somebody. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a great opportunity for me to learn. Me, I'm a learner. I'm always down to learn
I'm
something
going to
new.
learn something
And
new.
I'm hoping that's how people are. But in that case, like, I would say my biggest advice is to just, I humor is good, but don't let that really take your joy away, where
Mm-hmm.
you're having to keep up with this humor over a conversation or a comment that doesn't really make you happy, and
Exactly.
you're not faking this
Fixing it.
happiness that you don't even have. And it's okay to like bring it to the person's attention. If they're able to respect you, then you know that that's somebody you keep in your
Mm-hmm.
circle.
Mm-hmm.
But if they can't respect you and be like, oh, it's not a big deal, like,
You're not a big deal. Bye.
yeah, that's it. We're done with this
Clock
in
out.
general. Anything else you want to like tell them regarding this topic? Any advice that you'd have?
I mean, I think my advice is just the same. Like, I just think don't let people get away with bad behavior,
Mm,
and that's
that's
really it.
it.
That's it. Don't let them get away with bad behavior, and don't be the don't make yourself turn into the victim in that situation, because then now you go and you think about how why did I even laugh at that? Why did I laugh at myself? Don't let that be the case. Like, just be silent or
Mm.
say what or just say huh. Let them be dumb. Let them repeat themselves and see how crazy they sound when they say it.
No,
You know.
completely,
So yeah.
completely. It's okay. Never allow microaggression towards you.
Mhm.
Especially when you catch it and you're aware of it, you definitely should bring it up to them. I believe that does conclude this episode. I
Yeah.
hope you guys like, follow,
Subscribe,
subscribe.
of course. And we like we said in the beginning, we did launch our Japa hotline. So if you've ever had any microaggressions towards you, any stories you would
Ah,
like to
tell us
tell,
so.
tell us. Call the phone number. If it can be on the screen once again. Call
We'll
the
talk
phone
about it
number.
because I really want to
Yeah.
hear. I feel like there. I gave one example, but I want to hear your example
Examples
of
like
when
what you
you
guys
feel
went
like
through.
you experience
Yeah.
microaggressions
I want to
in
be angry for
general.
you.
Like, I want to be heated. I want to talk. Let me talk to that person. Drop the person's name and
Direct.
address.
Let me
I
talk
will
to you
really go to
direct.
that person. Do you know who this person is to me? Like,
We
just
want
really
yeah.
drop that conversation or
Exactly.
whatever happened for us to. We'll talk about it in our next episode. We'll bring it up the first thing so we can dive into
Do it
it and
exactly.
just give you our thoughts on that in general.
Yes.
Well,
No, we
thank you
love that.
guys for joining us from LOS.
To LAS.